Okay. Listen up. Episode 135, the email sound booth, the power of saying no. This one is going to be quick, but I hope it will be very impactful for you. I've got a good lesson at the end. Or I think I have a good lesson at the end. I always think that, but maybe that's my ego. But maybe you think that too. Otherwise, you wouldn't be listening. Anyway, over the last 8 years in business, really almost 9 years in business, I have learned to say no. I was talking with my ex-boyfriend about a year ago. We were catching up after a decade of not speaking. And he said, Liz, I finally learned that no is a full sentence. And I was so excited for him. I was so celebrating him because he's the type of guy that always says yes, always wants to help. He's a true community servant, right? And that was something, I'm a people pleaser, right? I have an unhealthy attachment to things and I have a hard time saying no. But that's something that I also learned and me and my ex had in common over the decade that we were apart, right? We're still exes. Don't worry. He's just a nice guy. Anyway, the power of saying no, right? Over the last 8-9 years, I have learned that in order to say yes to the things that I want, I have to say no to the things that I don't, or the things that aren't 100% aligned. And it's freaking hard, okay? But saying no, I'll just give you a few examples. Saying no has helped me turn down client work so that I could build the membership, right? Even now, people every once in a while will ask me to do client work. And there was actually this, and they're in my membership. And I think they're like 8 or 9 figure business by now. And they asked me, it was about a year into me not doing client work. And they asked me, hey, we want you to write some emails for us. And I said, I'm so sorry. No, I'm not available. And my business coach is friends with them. And I guess they told my business coach, like, she knows we're going to pay her really well, right? And Roberto's like, you can't buy her time right now. You just can't buy her time. She wants to spend her time growing this membership. And let's say ridiculous. They gave me $20,000, which it was maybe like a $5,000 project. But I have made over $1 million. Oh, that feels so weird to say. I've made over $1 million from this silly $9 thing. But if I would have said yes to the client work, who knows what I would have said yes to that wasn't fully in alignment with the way I wanted to build my business. Also, saying no has helped me grow this podcast and my YouTube channel. For the last, for the first 4 years of LizWilcox.com, I built the business by going on podcasts, going on other people's YouTube channels, giving other people content. But 2025 was the year of Liz's content. If I was still doing that many interviews, I think at least once a month, I would have a week where I was doing 8 to 12 podcasts. There was not a week where I was doing less than 3 podcasts for the last, 4 years. So now that I've been able to say no, I'm not doing interviews right now. And I still do a few for friends, but for the masses, no. And that's helped me grow this podcast. This is episode 135. If I was doing everyone else's interviews, there's no way I could do this, right? Also, the power of saying no allows you to keep your business the way that you want it. For example, I do a lot of summits and stuff. And a lot of the times these summits, they want you to send 3 solo emails, 5 social media, blah, blah, blah. Y'all, did you know you can negotiate that? Did you know you can just say no? And some people, when I say no, they don't want me in their event anymore. And that's just a risk I'm willing to take. Some people are like, fine, can you do, 2 social posts? Cool, deal. But the thing is, it's my email list. I don't want to be constantly emailing my list with all these summits. If I like the summit, I will promote it. I don't want a requirement. So that is a firm no for me. Now, let me take a sip and change directions here. Hang on. I'm so thirsty. Not leaning into my power of saying no it's also hurting me right now. So normally, I didn't even mention this, saying no to client work also allowed me to go on Survivor. Are you kidding me? If I wouldn't already have the practice of 2 years of not taking client work, I never would have even been able to apply because I would have been like, well, I got to work. So anyway, being on Survivor made me realize I don't actually have to work in the summer. So 2023, 24, I didn't work in the summer. Now come to 2025. Summer is fast approaching. I'm recording this Monday, May 12th. Usually I take June and July off. I usually also take the last week of May and the first week of August off. So it's like, 10 weeks off, maybe 11. When I say I am not able to do that this summer, I am sad. And it's because I am saying yes to too many things. I have said yes to just about anyone that has asked me to speak. I have been traveling almost every single week since February. This coming weekend will be my first weekend home in 5 weeks. And it will be one of 2 weekends home for the next 6 weeks. I have so many opportunities coming at me that it feels like I have to grab all of them, and I'm having a hard time saying no. And it feels stressful. Like if you're watching me on YouTube, I look terrible, by the way, but whatever. The lighting is not lighting, and the eyebrows need to be done. But anyway, my throat is like closing because it feels stressful. So I've gotten off track, and I've lost sight of my boundaries. I've lost sight of, Liz, you need summers off because, sure, I'm not working like 8-10 hour days anymore, but I'm working 4 or 5 hours. I'm trying to take care of my health. I am a single mom. Right now I'm recording this, and my daughter, luckily she has a form to fill out for her summer camp, and she's doing that so I can record this, right? Like, I have a very full life. But it's because I've been living in this scarcity mindset. I've been feeding into, oh my gosh, I spent too much money in 2024 because I bought a house. Oh my gosh, I owe too many taxes because I won money on Survivor. Oh my gosh, where's the money going to come from? Where's the money going to come from? Scarcity, scarcity, scarcity. So I've been saying yes, 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 yes to everything. And it's not even just, in-person events. There are some things, and I want to say yes to them. I want to do these things. They're exciting, or they're, favors for friends. They're great opportunities that have been given to me, and I want to say yes to them. But I'm breaking my own rules to be able to say yes to them. For example, somebody was asking me to come in and do a 2-hour training for some people. And I said, yes, definitely. Email Patricia. Patricia tells me they want it to be done in May or June. I told them no, and we went back and forth. I wanted to do it in August or September because that's when I'm coming back from work. But somehow my lowering my boundaries, forgetting that I have power to say no, and this is not the only thing, but I'm doing 2-3 things in June where I should have just said, no, I'm sorry, you have to wait until August or September, right? So, lest you think I'm perfect, lest you think I'm the queen of boundaries, as I've heard that from friends before, like, oh, Liz has no problem saying no. Sometimes I do, but really it's only when I'm living in that scarcity mindset of that scarcity mindset says, now, 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 you're never going to get asked again, right? But the abundance mindset says, there are the, there will be other doors that will open for you, Liz, and they will probably be better, right? Like turning down client work, thousands of dollars at a time to build this $9 a month thing. Get out of here. But that was the real deal. That's the power of saying no. I've made way more money with my membership than I could have made with clients, and I work way less. So, anyway, just wanted to kind of slow down on the podcast and remind you and myself, there is great, immense power in saying no, but you can only do it when you're living in that abundant mindset, when nope, this isn't in alignment with what I want to do, where I want to go, what I want my life to look like. I'm going to say no so I can allow for the right opportunity. All right. Woe is me. I have to work in June. I'll get over it. As always, I'm Liz Wilcox. You are awesome. I believe in your ability to say no so that the real aligned doors can open for you. I'll see you on the next episode.